2020 happened. I'm like, that makes sense.
This is why.
Beep.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Awkward Tea Party. I appreciate everyone that is live, watching live, whether on Instagram or Twitch or everywhere else, or if you guys are watching this on YouTube. This is a podcast where Max and I get to talk about whatever we want: pop culture, work, relationships, and anything. And today we're kind of starting off with, I'd say, I mean, I feel like we've beaten this topic like so much already, but it's just like hearing about it just frustrates me, and the ignorance surrounding it, which is management or CEOs or bosses forcing their employees to come back into the office after 2 years, in a sense, telling them, you're doing a great job working from home. We're all in this as a team together. Keep up the great work. You're still being 100% productive. And then all of a sudden, flipping the script saying, like, no, we don't think you guys are actually doing any work. We need you to come back in the office because it's good for, company culture.
Optics.
It's good. Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, you had your bit on that today. If you would like to kick that off.
Yeah. Okay. So I got pulled into a meeting like an hour before I was supposed to get off work earlier today. And I was texting Emeroy basically the whole time, because this is how, like, the fact that, Emeroy and I talk about, us basically, well, me, because I'm the one that has a job at a place that
I don't have a job. I'm just kidding.
The one that has like a job at a place and not running my own company from home. I'm like, so my boss called me into a meeting. I do have my in-office days. Well, by days, I mean one day, like for like 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more than enough for me. That's long enough for me. Sometimes I'm just there and I don't do anything because I feel like I can get more done here than I do over there. And I've proven that because like it is a 40-minute walk from my house to the place, and I make that walk. And sometimes I slow down. I stop at Starbucks, which makes it basically an hour journey. And like there's that hour gap that that I could have been getting things done. Please, like by the time I get back here to the house and to like do work, it's like I can get everything done way quicker here than I could over there if I had spent the entire day there, or like the 2-3 hours I was there. There are times where it's just like when I'm over there and it's like a bigger project and they're just like, oh, can you do this real quick? I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do it when I get to the house. But you're right now. Can't you just do it there? No. Absolutely not. Not with those computers. Oh, that I'm going to have to censor where I work because I said it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Good thing you're editing this too. Oh,
me, do it. So anyway, and I'm like, oh, hi, Jean. Jean's on Instagram.
What's going on, Jean?
I get a call and they were like, you're getting to come in 2 days a week now. And she was like, it doesn't have to be the whole day. It doesn't have to be the full 9 to 5. Like, just to show that we are there. Because apparently it's not just senior management or like upper management complaining that we're not there, we're never there, and they don't see us doing any work. Somehow the marketing department doesn't do any work, even though things are going out on social media, on YouTube. Emails are going out. Are they just magically there? Oh, a brand new camp poster just arrived. Is that just, like, did that just magically happen? It was like, oh, you got your new business cards? Oh, I wonder how that happened. So essentially, they don't see us doing work, so they want us there. And there's also like other staff from like other departments that are just like, marketing's never here. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry that your job requires you to be on site because of what you do. And my job allows me to be off-site and still get work done. And I can do it from the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
Sorry, but also, I don't know, man. pick another field, learn how to Photoshop something. I don't know. Learn how to use Photoshop, learn how to edit a video. Maybe you can get one, like maybe you can get a remote job. I don't understand why, you have to bring us down just because you're the one that's quote unquote stuck doing that. I'm like, it's your job that you love so much.
Yeah. And
then it shouldn't be a big deal that you're there.
Yeah. And then it's the whole thing of there's obviously jobs that you need to be there for, being a lifeguard, being a doctor. Those are things that it makes sense. But even then, there is even remote technologies. I forgot where, but I'll link it in the description on YouTube. That like there was an actual, wasn't there like a surgery that was successfully done remotely via a robot?
Yeah.
So even then,
I mean, it's expensive and it's whatever, but like it's still possible. Yeah.
So I'm just looking at some stats and whatnot. I mean, if anything, it's hard. It's crazy to think that it's been 2 years removed from the pandemic.
Yeah,
it really feels like a lifetime ago. But if anything, it's shown that you can still produce great results without the need to be in an office. And at the same time, it's kind of opened up new opportunities for a lot of people. Because again, with that being said, we can work from home.
Yeah.
The amount of resources people, especially right now, like with how expensive everything is getting, or the expectation of recession and whatnot, using those resources to spend an hour in commute on just for gas and all that, and just losing an hour of time to commute to go to an office and just essentially do the same job you can do when you can at home. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. There's the argument of what do you call it? Collaboration and whatnot. I do see from my own experience, the difference of working in person versus this, because there is there's a kinesthetic feeling to it in terms of getting the job done. Like for example, today for a client, I was teaching one of their junior social media managers, like how to set up TikTok and Snapchat ads. And because I had some extra time, I wasn't filming anything, I decided to walk him through it. But I could equally do that and show it to him through shared screen here without having to again drive over there. I just happened to be there because we needed to film content for the client. Yeah. So that's an example right there of we can create personal interaction, but it can the job can still be done like digitally. Then there's argues of like team culture, and again, I'm trying to be empathetic because my brain often goes, here's the other perspective,
the other side of it.
Yeah, and I play devil's advocate a lot, and you know that, and I play devil's advocate with myself because I try not to, because I know my one perspective or view is not the only one that's right. So what about the opposite? So I the whole team culture thing, it sounds nice. It sounds
on paper,
because again, not everyone gives a shit about team culture. More people are just there to do the job and get paid for it and leave. But also, I do agree that team culture is vital in a sense of creating a safe and effective work environment. So, but everyone's wanting to like go all in for the system is not everyone's going to be 100% there.
And it depends on the team, because like with VP, if we end up like getting an office and everyone's there, I'll be fine with it because I'm like, I like you guys. I don't like them. I don't like them enough to want to be in an office with them. I don't like the place enough to want to be there all the time. So it kind of like, I hate the whole, because the thing that's normal for everyone is having everyone in the office, everyone there, seeing them there physically. So whenever I do go there and I see someone that I haven't seen in a while, but they go there every day, but I only go there like, once a week, every few hours. And I just so happen to run into them because I just stay in the office.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Yeah.
So no one can disturb me. Like, they're like, oh, you're back. I'm like, no, first of all, I never left I never like left the company. I have been here. It's the same as like, some parents basically saying kids need to go back to school, even though their kids have been in Zoom school for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing as like, get these kids and these teachers back in school. I'm like, no, they've been in school. Just Zoom. I mean, is it ideal for them? Probably not. But
hell no, it's not.
probably not. But like, there's a clear difference between being in school and not being in school. Not being in school means this kid never learned a goddamn thing. Didn't go to Zoom school, didn't do anything. That's not being in school.
Yeah.
So like that's the same thing with me. It's like, oh, you can get back to work. I'm like, I have been working.
Yeah.
I'm like I will pull up my phone and like scroll through Instagram and Facebook. You see that? That's all me. That's all me. Like, see that video? That's me. See that video playing on TV? That's me.
Yeah. It's the whole thing of like, see it to believe it. I need to see you actually working. Is like,
I know
it, and then Zoom school is so super different. Kids in development versus functioning adults.
Versus adults,
yeah. At the end of the day, it's like just let people fucking choose. Like if they want to work from home because they're effective, let them do that. If they want to do hybrid, do that. Because I do know some people, like because Steph, like she manages people who work from remote, but she catches a lot of people on the upper side where she's management and she has to look at people. She's dealing with people who are actually not doing their job, being remote. So there's that kind of like shows that argument like the whole of working remote and its effectiveness, and it's kind of tricky. Hearing that perspective, I'm all for remote, and then as long as you get your fucking job done, and then like going back to it, like some people choose work remote. Hybrid if they want, or let them go back into the office. It's because I know some people actually need to be in that environment to get the job done. It feels like a set space, very similar to going to a gym, but for like the same thing. But sometimes the home setup is like the dojo of where they already are doing the work. If I were to get a regular job, I would not want to fucking work anywhere or edit anywhere because my machine is like, it's going to shit on anything that they're going to give me.
Same here with me.
Yeah.
They're like, well, there's a lot of things, the things you're doing now, you've been doing at the office, like, like forever ago. I'm like, yeah, except the quality's gotten better. It's gotten out a lot faster. And now we have video, better video. So like, they're just like, yeah, can't you do that over there? I'm like, no. I'm like, do you think you can throw all these projects at me and then me like delivering on the same day?
Yeah.
Over there? No, I won't be able to deliver on the same day over there. Like if you assign me something on Monday, you'll get it on Friday if I had to do that. I can't have like 5 Photoshop projects open, 5 InDesign files open, and then like a Premiere file and a Premiere project file because you want me to do a video all at the same time? Hell no. I can do that here. Barely.
Yeah.
Even here, like Premiere's like, hey, you're shutting everything else down.
Oh yeah, you need to upgrade your graphics card for sure.
I do.
So and then I don't know. It's just annoying, like the whole saying people were doing great and then being productive, and it still was just as effective. And now they're flipping the script and saying that people are lazy and whatnot. And then the thing is, I've been working remote since 2014. Ever. Yeah. So it's like, so it took, the reality is it does take a lot of discipline to work from home, to not go start lying down and chilling. It does take a certain amount of discipline. And 2, the dangerous part, just from my perspective, is like, it can be hard to turn off. So, which is setting your own boundaries. I think you do a great job with that. Like once you have a very hard stop at 5, and then boom. The difference with me,
I mean, for them, but like for VP, I can go forever. At some point. And same with for me. Like since I'm running all the 3 businesses, I'm like, I should stop. But it's also, again, if you guys have been listening to the podcast for a while, it's just the game I enjoy. So it's like I'm gonna keep playing. So it's different when like gotta get that XP.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. It's different when you're the employee versus the boss. Yeah. It's also like goes back to that when like mad love to Elon. Like I like his entrepreneurial like prowess, like what he's done with SpaceX and Tesla and whatnot. There's other parts where he's a troll on Twitter, like and all that stuff. But like it's like you can't deny the results he's brought.
Yeah.
As a businessman. This was why one of the reasons I kind of like respect the dude, but I'm not about because there's a meme like a lot of these people just like fucking like
there's too many people that suck Elon Musk's dick, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But
even Grimes doesn't want to suck his dick anymore.
But like for me, I'm just I just as what he's done in terms of like what it takes in terms of like the business side of things, I enjoy that. But in terms of like right now, regarding this email and whatnot, you know, but then again, I'm not the one running friggin' $1 billion companies.
That's true.
So that's something to be said, but it, you know, like I'll read the email.
You gotta read it.
Have you read it?
I read the email and I grew very incensed with it.
Yeah. So, okay, I won't read the email. You guys can look it up yourselves. But like one of the things that pop up to me is more of the office. It must be where your actual colleagues are located, not some remote pseudo office. If you don't show up, we'll assume that you have resigned. Ooh, that's a yeah. And then the other one's the more senior, the more visible your presence. So I get the whole idea of like if you're leadership, you have to be there. But I would even say more important, maybe not so much show up. It's like you gotta like at the end of the day, results speak louder than words. I don't know, or actions speak louder. But you got it doesn't matter if you show up. You can to the office. You can be equally be dicking around.
Yeah, I've done that. I've dicked around in the office and no one knew the wiser because you know why? I got my work done early. Exactly
that. And then there's a whole argument of like, oh, there are people who are at home aren't working, but it's the same thing with people in the office. Some people are just that damn good. They get the job done in 3 hours out of the 8 and they have nothing else to work through the rest of the day. And for me, I've had that so many times and I'm just like doing whatever else. I'm just like, man, I could be working on other projects rather than fucking sitting on my ass here. So.
There was one time like I had 8 hours in the day to work. A lot of it, like I tried to not slow down, but like I tried to like really like sit on one project and like just do that one project instead of like doing like 5 at the same time. Mostly because they didn't have a hard deadline or the hard deadline is like 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Like for once, they gave me the deadline way ahead of time and not the week before. For once, I slowed down, quote unquote, slowed down, but I still had like 4 hours to spare.
Oh, wow.
And that's with taking a long break. I took a 2-hour lunch.
It's a waste of time.
I took a 2-hour lunch. I took a nap.
So,
I'm like, what did I? Yeah, I took a nap. I took a nap and I'm like, and I woke up. I was like, shit, I gotta get work done. And then I got the work done. I still have 4 hours left. I'm like, the fuck am I gonna do now?
Yeah.
And then like I started looking through like, you know, stuff and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do next month.
Okay, that sounds nice to be way ahead of time. Like, okay, some other parts of the email is like, more senior are, the more visible your presence. That's why I learned the factory so much, so that those on the line could see me working alongside them. I respect that, you know, like being in the trenches along with it, because I think there's leaders who just bark from the back, but not lead from the front, who aren't willing to get their hands dirty. I get that. I respect that because as a leader, you got to get your hands dirty as well. Can't just be barking orders. And so that if I had not done that, Tesla would have gone Tesla would long ago have gone bankrupt. I can read. There are, of course, companies that don't require this, but when was the last time they shipped a great new product? It's been a while. So throwing shade on remote companies. But either way, like, it's okay. Going to the whole thing of like him being there every single day for everything, that makes sense because you're the CEO.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
You can't expect everybody else to be as dedicated to the company as you are just because you are. Yeah.
So, because that's
good for you, but not for me.
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, it's and I mean, you've seen it and everyone knows, like I put in a lot of hours with this as well. It's, you know, it's a lot of hours doesn't always equate to desired result, but you know, it's, I don't know. It just assuming that everyone is gonna have the same passion as you, I think, is unfair because other people, they're human beings, and other human beings have lives, and it's for the CEO, for anyone to assume, you know, that they have that same amount of drive is just, I don't even know what the word is for that. But
I mean, okay, well, you can't just think that just because someone's working somewhere, that means they actually, you know, that this job, whatever the fuck they're doing, is their quote unquote passion, and they should lay their lives on the line for it and, like, you know, give up their comforts for it or whatever the fuck. Like, no, like you know, this job is just a job for me. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to do something else. My free time does not equal availability.
Yeah. And then it's to be the whole devil's advocate, to be empathetic, it does make sense, because if to produce a high level quality product, it requires a lot of rigor to make it perform well. So it makes me wonder, like,
so then have more people instead of making people work work more hours than they're supposed to.
Well, it's not so much he's making them work out more. Well, presuming with this particular email, is it making everyone do their 40 back in the office? Which to me confuses me. Is like, if I can get the same result here, why do I need to do it here?
Exactly.
You know, it feels very much like I get the whole idea of leaders being in there, like in terms of in the trenches, but you can also be in the trenches at home and working. Yeah. And like, because like Lord knows, like, even though we don't have an office, I am working my ass off every single day. Yeah. So,
and just the way that it's kind of veering off of Elon Musk for a little bit, veering off of Tesla for a little bit. Let's bring it home to something a little bit more relatable, like, because not everybody works at Tesla, not everybody works for Elon Musk. Yeah. But if somebody works for some sort of boomer CEO or boomer like vice president of sorts, me. Because they still haven't died yet.
Wow.
They are basically saying, because of their experience, that their home office is not good enough as their office. They're assuming that it's the same for everybody.
Oh yeah, I hate it when
my home office shits all over every single computer in that whole building, and there's a fuck ton of them. Mm-hmm. This one machine that needs an upgrade really bad shits all over those machines. Like, this is $2,000 worth of shit. If I upgrade this, I would have spent a total of $3,500 on this computer once I upgraded. Like, you know, including the $2,000 I initially spent on it. But like, do not tell me that just because your home office is inferior, that mine is too, and that it would be quote unquote better and I can get more work done if I go in the building every day, or if I'm in the building more often.
Yeah.
And like even like throwing it back to my boss, who was like, who understands that I get a lot of work done here because I say it a lot. Because there are days where it's just basically she was having me choose between Wednesday or Friday to come into the office for a couple hours. And I'm like, I would say Friday so I can get more work done earlier in the week, and then like do the things that I can only do while I'm over there or whatever. And it's like, and I basically have been saying, I can get more work done here on this computer than I can like at the computers at work. And she understood that. She's basically making me come in twice a week now for the optics, because she refused to put her foot down and be like, no, my team has been doing great work from home. Why change that? Because she wants to suck their dick so she can be up there too, eventually, when someone like resigns, retires, dies, whatever.
throwing you guys under the bus to appease upper management.
And the thing is, the other person used to work in the actual corporate world because I work for a nonprofit. So this other person works for corporate world and is like, sure, yeah, whatever. I'll go back to the office because she doesn't give a fuck. I do. I care about my well-being. I care about my mental health. My mental health tanks when I'm over there. And it's like, and this isn't the first time that I've been told to, quote unquote, look busy, basically, because I used to work at the front desk there. And we have had meetings on meetings of that entire team going, I know when it's slow, obviously there's not much to do because nobody comes in to like do anything, but look busy.
Oh God.
Look busy because you know why? Because there are other people from other departments that would see you and you're not busy, and then and the front desk is fully staffed, and their directors are having to teach their own classes instead of just working. And I'm like, how is that our problem?
Get wrecked.
Get fucking wrecked then. Like, I'm sorry, our manager, our director is good at budgeting, so we can actually have 4 people on staff, even though it's slow. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorry, our manager's better at money than yours.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Notes. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just, yeah, like it's the whole look busy, look like you're doing something, and then upper management will be happy. The other departments will be happy and not complain about you to upper management. Okay. Everything basically is being done to appease upper management. This has nothing to do with the people that come in. Because the people that come in don't give a fuck if marketing's there or not. So what are they going to do? Of course, they'll give a fuck if their personal trainer's there or not. They'll give a fuck if the front desk people are there or not.
Yeah.
But marketing? Who the fuck cares?
It's.
I could be on the beach and get this done.
That sounds like the whole like passive income, like entrepreneur, like big entrepreneur shit.
Yeah.
But
no, I can. Just give me an internet connection and Photoshop, I can do it.
Yeah, I essentially, like, it's one of those things, like, if the things we do, we don't need to be anywhere. So yeah. Anyways, at the end of the day, like, it's let people choose.
Yeah, because it depends on the industry too, I guess, but I don't really like, I mean, I get it. I get why they want it. And there's also some that just want to control you.
Yes, that's what I think too. It's like I almost feel like it's a control thing because you're not seeing them. Because I remember
parent that never wants their adult child to move out.
It was one of those things, like when I had to work in house for a while because VP was a super close to fucking losing money. Like the guy I was working for, he just said, "Yeah, I just need to see you in the office. I need to see you in the office. Like, why do you need to see me? I need to get the fucking job done." Yeah. So yeah.
And it's the ones that actually don't know how to do the job you're doing that want to see you. And it's like it's not like they're watching you and like trying to like learn from you or whatever. Or just seeing your process. They just want to know you're there and working. It's this like ego thing. It's like, this dude comes in for me and working.
Yeah, or it's like, it just for them it feels like they're getting their money's worth, but who knows? I could just be fucking watching I don't know, YouTube all day, and then the rest of it, I mean, that's essentially what I did. I did like 2 hours, I was done with his shit, and then the rest of it I was like working on, I was prospecting in the middle of that shit.
And like, wasn't there like a time where you were here getting work done? Like for that other person.
Well, I'm not sure which client you're talking about now, because I was working with several different clients when I was over there. So you got to specify a year and a month, because so it depends.
2018 August.
Was this when my laptop broke?
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is a different client.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So I can't believe we're still talking about it, but I think it's let people do it. It gives people more opportunity, and then all those things. because for me, especially, it's like I said, we just said in the beginning, with how expensive gas is right now, it's and if you have to commute for an hour, that's resources that you could be saving for other things, groceries or basic needs.
Yeah.
So, and if they're producing the result, then why does it matter where they work?
Yeah.
So,
and having to put in 40 hours. Oh, okay. I'm just saying this from the perspective of someone who's on salary, but like having to put in at least 40 hours a week, like that rigidity. It's just like, okay, what am I going to do with 40 hours a week if I can get everything done 4 hours out of in the day?
Yeah. It's a weird thing. Like it's because then should people be paid based off the hours or should people be paid based off the result? Like the thing that they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're going based off hours, it's like then, and if it has to be 40 hours, and they're going to find a way to fill those 40 hours.
Oh,
if you pay,
I absolutely know.
Yeah. And if you're paying people based off the result, that can be tricky too, because then sometimes there's diminishing returns if you are working on this project way longer than expected.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. That's something that's I debated on a lot in the beginning, but in regards to like employees, because then there's salary and then there's
hourly.
The hourly.
Because there was this like either was the Onion or it was a tweet or something. I saw this like forever ago, but it's like what was it? Employers are mad to find out that their remote workers have been what were they doing? Have been napping, having sex, eating, and working their side jobs on the clock while they're working remotely. It's like what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, and what else? Like, I mean, aside from
they gave us
sex,
8 hours. Yeah,
like people will still be finding some other shit to do in office, anyways.
Yeah. I'll be watching YouTube videos,
or they'll have another window open with the side project they're working on.
Yeah.
So it's like
me.
Yeah. So and then there's also like these other companies that install tracking shit on the other computers so they can watch what's on it. Yeah. I fucking hated that shit.
Yeah, they're gonna give me a laptop.
I hate being micromanaged.
They're giving me a laptop, and the second I find out there's a tracking thing on there, I'm never using it.
Yeah, I'm more ready to quit than having to stay with golden
I'm never
handcuffs.
using it. I just grab all the files. I have the SSD the company bought. I encrypted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just put any file I need in there, what I think I need in there, and I have everything else like here. I can just do it from my work computer or my laptop if I'm traveling and do it from there. Fuck no. If the second I find out there's a tracking thing on there, I'm not fucking doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fucking using it.
Yeah.
And then there's people that like would have a thing, either a program or an actual anything at all to make it look like their mouse is moving.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
So they stay active they stay online on Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. So
and then I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand, because some people actually look at it. It's like, your thing is yellow on Teams. Are you sure you've been on the computer? Yeah,
they have these little programs or something that just moves the mouse for you.
Yeah.
Just to make it seem like you're active. That's stupid.
That is dumb. And like it's dumb that we need that some people need that. And like I've seen other people that like have brand deals with like vibrators and shit, and they would like no, there's this one. Oh wait, that's Haley Lowe, the one that we watch all the time. She's the one that like ends her like videos with Toodaloo. Yeah. Like on Instagram and like TikTok. And yeah, she had like a brand deal with like some vibrator company or whatever. And she's like, it's like, need to run errands, but I need to stay active on Microsoft Teams. So she taped like a vibrator to her little mouse. That is, wow. And then obviously it says, for legal purposes, this is a joke. Yeah. For HR purposes, this is a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we beat this topic down to the ground.
Well, if companies would stop fucking beating this topic to the ground too.
Well, I have a feeling, oh man, either it's gonna get worse before it even gets better, but I don't know.
People will come back to the office when they want to.
Yeah, because I mean, my concern, and we'll talk. I feel like it's something I highly or heavily uneducated in is the recession. So I'm trying to imagine how that'll affect businesses and work, because if people are in a place of desperate work, they'll be like, yeah, I need the money, I'll come in through the office, versus working from home. So yeah. But who knows, because it to me it's just like it shows it's another way now. It's another way of doing things, and if anything, it's opened a lot more. I think it's just given people a lot more, at least from my experience, of like a lot more flexibility. Just and like it saves so much fucking gas, dude.
It saves a lot on gas, but also, I mean, it's talking about like, having money to do anything. It didn't occur to me because I've had a computer at my home for so long. I've had a laptop for a while now, that not a lot of people have their own home computers, not even a laptop, because they can't afford that. So like I had a friend who at like not the start of the pandemic, but like kind of like maybe like early 2021, they texted me. They're like, hey, how do I find a job that's remote? And I'm like, and I gave them a bunch of like websites and stuff. And they were like, oh, but these all require a laptop. I'm like, how do you expect to work from home if you don't have a computer of sorts?
Yeah, just like
and that was my first reaction. I didn't type that because that sounded like a fucking privileged asshole. But I'm like,
yeah, that's fair.
You know what? Not everyone can afford that, because this person has been like in the food service industry for a long time, bartending, being a server and everything, and like sometimes being even line cook. But like, not everyone has the privilege of owning some sort of home computer.
Yeah,
to
that's
even
true.
Do the most basic things like being a VA, a virtual assistant.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So I'm like, holy shit, like, not everyone can afford this. That's why they have to come to work.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they have to come to work because that's the only place where there's a computer.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's the only place where there's a printer. I don't own one. I'm a millennial.
This sounds like fucking first world problems for real.
I'm a millennial. I go to work for a printer.
Yeah.
And also to use the so I don't have to go to the post office and want to mail something.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's switch.
Anyway.
Okay.
Elon Musk. Nobody wants to go back to the office.
So, I mean, yeah, it's.
Although there are a lot of people that were excited. I'm like, why? I missed everyone. I'm like,
I don't know. I have such separate thoughts from it. Okay, so other things on the agenda here. Thoughts on business proposal, hauntings,
the K-drama.
What you're watching, the K-drama. What are we right with hauntings?
Oh, because we were watching
zombies. We were talking about zombies, about
another Korean show. All of Us Are Dead. And then also you have been on a salmon cold.
Okay, so
salmon combi.
So we were talking. It's not even fucking October yet, and I've just been obsessed with watching the spooky shit. But I do want to talk about this first. Max and I are currently watching. What is it?
All of Us Are Dead.
Yeah, it's a K-drama thing.
Show, yeah.
It's and it has zombies. And the one thing that a lot of these zombie shows have in common is the moment where one of the main characters has to kill a close loved one. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about it, and we are like, yeah, babe, if you're become one, I'm gonna just you're gone.
Yeah.
But the thing
it's easy to say.
But that's the thing. Like, what would you actually do it? Like, what? Because most of the time, I feel like it's pretty accurate. Like, most people either die because their emotions, like it's my loved one, and or two, it's like they wait until it's way too late, and then they have to kill them after if they've turned. Because God knows if, like, oh God, if Jordan was bitten, and I would be like, I would have a hard time.
Yeah.
I think, wasn't there an episode in The Walking Dead, like, oh, I mean,
what season was it?
I don't remember. There, because where the dad had his loved one, I think his daughter or his wife, chained, but they're walkers or zombies at this point.
Yeah.
But because it was the loved one, they just kept him alive, but it just kept feeding them, alive. They're undead, and he was just trying to, he wasn't ready to let him go. That's kind of like, there's that kind of twisted route.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah, because you asked me, it's like, so what happened if that was me? I'd be like, oh, fucking double tap to the head, obviously, immediately. But I'm like, wait, no, hold up. Like, I was like as I said, I was like, if it was either you or Lauren or both of you, I'd just be like, I know what I need to do, but do I have the balls to do it?
Yeah.
Because it's the both of you. If someone else that I didn't know or like, didn't care as much about, like, started turning into a zombie in front of me, fucking shoot them in the head. Like, or like, do something. Get rid of the brain. Yeah, like, do that. But like, if it's you two, I'd be like, I don't know, man, just fucking bite me. Let's all do this.
Oh my God, yeah.
We're all in this together.
It's a scary thought. It's not a scary thought. It's a tough decision to, I mean, hopefully we never have to do, because one thing that I did think about, especially during the pandemic, was like, damn, how bad shit everyone's handling this. That makes sense why all the motherfuckers died in The Walking Dead. Because it's like one of those things. How can a society like this advanced, like, just fall apart this quickly? And then 2020 happened. I'm like, that makes sense.
This is why. Like, basically all those zombie movies or like zombie episodes or like any Contagion type TV show of like episodes or like movies, like was basically like a blueprint and like a peek into the future. Well, future being 2020. It's just like we were watching all this shit before. It's just like, oh, like, that's impossible. That would never happen. Oh my God.
Right. And it's one of those things of like, it reminds me of another meme of like how society just goes back to normal after the snap.
Yeah. And
then same thing is happening in real life. I was like, oh, I guess COVID's done now.
No, it's not. No, it's
so
not.
But yeah.
Every time I sneeze and cough, I'm like, ugh! And then there's also like the people that think they're special, like they've been bit before.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
this, All of Us Are Dead isn't the first like piece of media to show that somebody who got bit by a zombie thinks they're special and like would lock themselves in with the people that haven't been bitten. There's an episode in Community called Epidemiology that was a Halloween episode. And, before we lock ourselves in, has anybody been bitten? Because if you've been bitten, you're locking yourself so you're with us and, blah, blah, blah. And, what are the symptoms? And they start like showing symptoms. And then the guy explaining it, who so happens to be a doctor, started showing the symptoms. And it was like, oh, shit, you've been bitten. And he was like, I thought maybe I was special. And the other one Britta goes, special? You think you're special? I'm special. I was bitten 10 minutes ago and I'm fine. And then she wasn't fine. So like, there's people like that. Like, they will catch something. They will catch the plague, basically. They will catch. They will get. They will get tickets to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour and not tell anyone, and lock themselves in with the people, and they think they're special somehow. They're like, I'm not showing symptoms, so I must be fine. So I couldn't possibly spread it to anybody. I'm like,
I'm the exception.
Yeah. And I think it's such an American thing too. Like, it's very, not just American, but like very like Western thing. It's like very individualistic.
Oh,
It's like, I mean, I love individuality, obviously, but at the same time, like you gotta think about other people too every now and then, not just yourself. And like, if you think you're special, then fucking great, man. But like, not against medicine, not against science.
there's that. Oh, like, the two things. Like, yeah, I do agree. There's like we definitely have this whole idea of individualism with us. It's like it's about me getting mine, but rather than community. So, and I feel like I definitely see that show up differently in other countries that I've been to. And the second part about science, I remember seeing like of I just lost my train of thought because I'm trying to remember it, but it's not exactly clicking in the way where it's coherent. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, and like I there's just people that don't think they can be affected just because they think they're special. But like, they're like, oh, I used to eat dirt when I was a kid and I'm fine. I'm like, okay, but a virus isn't dirt.
Yeah.
Like tapeworms is not a virus.
Oh, no.
I don't, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess like, like I'm one of those people that quote unquote trusts the science, but also at the same time, I also question the science. But like once I've questioned the science and I've been proven wrong by the science, I'll trust the science even more.
It's hard to question to the science. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you're not an actual scientist to test the hypothesis. If you cannot do the scientific method yourself, your scientific method cannot come from fucking YouTube research.
Yeah. And the thing is, the only experiment that like the layman can do is literally to just expose themselves to the disease and see if they catch it or not. But and even that's anecdotal.
Yeah, that
doesn't count.
Because it can't speak for the mass population.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I don't know what the fuck kind of research you've been doing, but it ain't it, sis.
Yeah, but like, I guess question the science because that's how science gets better. But at the same time, what's your method?
Have the means to question the science and disprove it. Disprove someone else's hypothesis or prove your own.
Yeah, don't do like look up abstract fucking interpretations and assume that's the sound science. Anyways. So yeah, zombies. Yeah,
theoretically,
zombies.
I would shoot you and Lauren in the head when you guys turn, but honestly, I just let you guys bite me. I don't know, fuck. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's such a.
I can't
interesting.
Do it. I don't think I'll be able to do it.
The whole thing of like your own self. How is it? I forgot what the term was, but surviving versus it's like when you care, you just clearly sacrifice yourself. Like parents clearly go through this. Like
yes,
parents will sacrifice, like are quick to sacrifice themselves to protect their loved ones. It's it's crazy what human emotion of love will make you do to make you do the most irrational things of what the fuck's the word? Self something. What of your own survival? So
preservation.
Self-preservation. There you go. Just simple word that I blanked out on.
I sometimes English good.
Yeah. English.
Sometimes English good.
Yeah. So speaking of, since we're talking about spooks in the middle of fucking June, one of the things I've been
Summerween
very obsessed with is the real life Sam and Dean, aka Sam and Colby. These I don't recall how I discovered them. I just remember seeing like that they were at the Conjuring House and they're first fantastic storytellers. A lot of fun to watch. I enjoy. The main reason I'm enjoying it is because they keep the YouTube elements of being very YouTubery. If you guys know if that's even a fucking thing, just like
if you watch enough YouTube, you're watching.
Yeah, if you watch
YouTube now, probably.
There's a certain way people present themselves on TV versus YouTube. And then the ghost hunting shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and whatnot, it feels very like formal, like, and very serious. So they're like, I don't know, the Conjuring house, yada yada yada. This is what all happened, and they try to be all like, ooh, and then with this, what I appreciate about them is they keep the levity and everything, just trying to keep the humor. They keep everything. They keep that part and make it fun in the beginning, and then before they bring it to the serious. But even in the serious, they do bring some actual. Even with that, like even through those serious moments, they still balance it out with some humor, even during the hunts. But I think one of the things that really I enjoyed recently is that they had a pretty solid experience in terms of a ghost, a spirit experience of like something. Because I honestly like it. It's hard to believe a lot of things in terms of spirits doing stuff, because I feel like half the time it could be doctored. But I feel like this one, I felt pretty good, just judging from the genuine reaction. So what happened in this video, because I'm telling you guys and not explaining, what happened in this video that I was watching, the Colby, I think, he saw a door actually closed on him while he wasn't looking. It was enough for him to be spooked and almost cry. And then they were doing a seance in another room, and they had a camera separate, just them, a separate camera watching the door, and it just closed by itself. It's just one of those things. It's like that. Excuse me. That I'm tempted, like you want to debunk. How does that happen? Why?
Because we were watching that earlier, like the earlier parts of it we were watching together, and like the door has shut on them like 2 times already before they actually saw it on video, like closing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was so ready to be like, oh, someone else must have been there. So like, like it could have been close enough for him to like kind of just nudge with his foot or whatever the fuck or whatever, and like, or they could have rigged it somehow to just do that. And then I'm like, and then to have like video of that being quote unquote proven wrong. I'm still skeptical because I'm me.
Yeah.
Because none of this shit happens to me. So I'm still skeptical. And like, I mean, if it's real, it's real. But like, for me, I'm just like, is it real though? No. But I'm like, but either way, it's like great entertainment for me.
Yeah, to me, it's great entertainment. I mean, that episode didn't really exist in a light note. It just got creepier and creepier. So, how would you react if that shit kind of happened? Would you try to
Finally
debunk
happened
it?
To me?
Yeah,
I think my first instinct would be to try to debunk it just because of who I am as a person.
I mean, it makes sense because you want to put logic to what just happened to it, because if
I love trying to logic my way out of something. Because
if it's something that's beyond that, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I'm not much of a believer. So like I enjoy watching things like that. I enjoy watching scary movies. I enjoyed watching like the Sam and Colby videos. I keep trying to say Zach and Cody. But yeah, like I enjoy those. I still don't believe in shit like that. And then when we were doing and every time we would do our Halloween episode with VP and Temper Tantrum, like I'm just like, this is very entertaining to me. Like, holy shit, this happened to you. But I'm very entertained right now. And sometimes I find it very hard to be like, oh my God, I'm sorry this happened to you. Oh my God, I can only imagine how scared you must have been. Because I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because this shit doesn't happen to me. I only look at it as entertainment. I think anything supernatural, occulty type thing to me is entertaining.
One of the things that was actually pretty close to what's happened to my friend. This is essentially free promo for them. So, like shit, I would love to collaborate with them and have Temper Tantrum join. Like Zach. I'm sorry,
Zach and Cody?
Sam, Colby. If y'all ever see this,
hi, we like you.
this collab, with a dance crew doing with a haunt. Like, that's something I want to do. Temper Tantrum versus
Have a
ghost hunting.
cipher at Cobb Estate.
Yeah. Oh my God. Cobb Estate
No,
is
maybe
kind
not
of,
Cobb Estate.
it's a hiking trail during the day.
Oh, yeah.
So, because I've actually, I actually did a hike with my friend Dom. It was supposed to be a spooky podcast. It ended up just being a regular ass hike podcast. So, anyways, like, yeah, that, speaking of Cobb Estate, that's like the closest thing, in terms of things that they've experienced that what lined up with what happened to my friend. So what happened to them is that they went to Cobb Estate late at night, is what people do. And then they ended up getting chased out by some people that just ended up waiting and staring at them at the gate, if I remember that correctly in the video. And then that same exact thing, and I think that they filmed that back in 2019.
Mhm.
That same exact experience happened to my friend, I think, back in 2004. So they went to Cobb Estate, but it's also known as Enchanted Forest here.
Mhm.
And they were also chased out by people that stopped at the entrance of the gate.
Mhm.
Were just staring at them. So if it wasn't ghosts, it was some weird culty shit that was happening. That
So that's what I'm more scared of. I'm more scared of real life people about to kill me than some, like, I don't know. Like, like if someone tells me this place is haunted, I'm like, okay. And then if something goes boom, I'll be like, yeah, scary. But once I know there's an actual person there that has ill intentions, I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm scared of people. Because
humans, at the end of the day, can still
touch me,
hurt you, and all that. And there's the whole thing of, most of the time from what I've gathered from watching all these videos, is that, most of the time the spirits won't hurt you or do anything with, unless it's though I've had my own experiences via the whole story of the exorcism thing, where it's kind of scary what entities will do versus spirits, and just kind of, it makes me wonder, what would happen if the entity got into a person. It's not exactly a common thing that happens, but I have seen it, and it's nuts. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I think it's because you and I have different experiences, that like the level of spooky is different between the two of us.
Yeah. And the fact that you and Lauren both love horror films. So I'm like,
we got you to what we got. You suggested it. First of all, we didn't make you do this. You were like, how about we all watch a scary movie later?
I'm still down.
And I'm like, all right.
I fell asleep during it though.
Yeah, you fell asleep during the actual scary part.
Was it scary?
Like the climax of it. Well, it wasn't like the scary part, but it was like the whole climax of it. That's when the story all comes together. And you were asleep through it. I was like, all right, it's fine. Let him sleep. I mean, we also were like busy before that. So
yeah, what did we do
shoot
that day?
Then gig.
Oh my God, we're fucking
shoot
tired.
Then gig.
That's
shoot
right.
Then gig.
That's a day. We had a film shoot and then a gig.
Yeah.
What the who plans this shit?
This? Ooh.
Okay.
Business proposal.
All right, business proposal. All right, so business proposal is a fantastic, lighthearted K-drama. Is it K-drama? If it's
I just call everything K-drama. I'm probably ignorant, but it's a Korean show based off of a webtoon.
And then share the premise, because I feel like I'm gonna butcher it.
So the premise is called
while I get my light.
Okay. So there's this woman played by Kim Se-jung. If you don't know her, she was in IOI. Anyway,
IOI is also a K-pop group. For those of you guys who was. Okay, there we go. I got my bounce light.
So anyway, so she works at this like huge company, or whatever, and she has a friend who's basically an heiress, and like, her father has been forcing her to go on these blind dates with other rich men from richer families or whatever to, you know, to basically get more money. And so basically this friend has been paying her to go on these blind dates for her and ruin them. Like basically, you know, act crazy, you know, or, you know, don't act like a lady or act like a total, like, you know, act like a total slut, dress skimpy or whatever. Cause again, like, cause we were watching it. And then, you know, she gave her the makeover and like, you know, to look like really, really hot. We were like, oh, she's really hot. She's really cute. But like, we're American. Apparently to them, that's too much for first date. That's too, like, you know, and like being straightforward as a woman or being too quote unquote loud as a woman is quote unquote frowned upon. So yeah, so she was doing that, but like this last date that she ended up going on ended up liking her.
I mean,
but yeah, but also this guy is being hounded by his own grandfather to go on more blind dates with like the same thing, like, you know, with these like rich women, like connected women to again get more money and like and have rich grandchildren and all that. Basically, he found, you know, everybody found out, or like he kind of found out or whatever, and he was just like, okay, well, here's the deal. I'm gonna pay you, or, you know, whatever. The business proposal was for them to keep dating. So his grandfather would leave him alone.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep dating his grandfather, leave him alone, and then, you know, the usual. They ended up falling in love for real, and blah 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 and blah, and happily ever after.
Okay, so just
I'm not gonna give away the entire show.
So that we avoid talking about doing a recap thing of this, let's like give it some structure. Let's do some ratings on it. There may be some things we liked, didn't like. So let's start off with what you liked.
What I did like was I liked how the episodes and like scenes were edited and shot sometimes. Just like to go on technical, but like even though this is more your strong suit, but like I like the animated elements that they put on there or whatever, just to kind of give it more of that webtoon feel. Like just like, yeah, no, this is like a very comic booky, like webtoony feel. But like story wise, I feel like on, you know, because we watched another K-drama. We watched Startup, and you and I both agree that if they would have just communicated better and more often, it would have been a way shorter show. I
think that's for every drama, every movie.
Except for this one. They communicated a lot. There was just a lot of miscommunication, but they communicated a lot. Like they at least tried to communicate. They were at least talking. And that's like fair, And you know, there was a lot of communication going on between friends, between like, you know, between partners and between like rivals for somebody's heart or whatever the fuck. Like there was communication, sometimes not the best, but they were communicating, and I liked that.
Yeah.
None of that whole like, you know, oh, maybe I won't text. I'm like, just fucking text.
Just yeah.
And that's coming from me, who's like scared to text, who's scared to call you sometimes. And I'm like, he's busy.
Oh my God. So, in terms of what we're judging on right now, story. And so, story, I thought it was cute. I do like how it wasn't just one business proposal throughout. It kept evolving into a different type of business proposal. Because I felt like if that was in my head, I was like, if it's going to be one season of this, or if it's going to be 3 seasons of this one goddamn thing, it's going to get stale so quick. But I do like the change of that. I do like the additional subplots with the assistant and the best friend.
With the best friend, yeah.
So I think that was clever. I like how they kind of gave them their own space. It didn't feel too crowded. The pacing for a lot of it felt nice. It didn't feel like they were adding too many elements for character growth, or it didn't feel like it was too rushed. Yeah, like, and comparing it to like Startup, like the some of the progression with like the character growth, and like even the character growth as like, you know,
eventually they're gonna end up together or whatever. That progress was so slow. I didn't like.
It
like,
was.
I mean, I appreciate a slow burner. I really do, but at the same time, like, oh my god, just fucking get to the point.
They milked it for a while.
Is it because we're American that we're like, just kiss already? Like,
maybe,
kind of, but like at the same, that was too slow of a burn.
But also,
even, like, yeah, I don't know, that was too slow of a burn.
Because it's like these episodes are like an hour and a half. These are movies, so it's like.
When we were watching Snowdrop too, it's like,
that's an hour and a half too.
Just hold her hand already.
Yeah, I mean, to also add to that, I did like the additional elements of some motion graphics. I think it was just really clever use in helping tell the story to make it comedic and a lot more fun. Yeah, and some of them, the soundtrack was pretty good too. So I think that was good. Yeah, that's something I definitely enjoyed a lot from Startup, was how great the soundtrack was.
Shout out Red Velvet.
So yeah, because what they did was they used these same songs effectively to like tell for storytelling. Yeah, like if it was a certain song, it was because of a serious moment. If it was another song, it was because it was an uplifting moment, and it becomes very. They do that a lot with like movies too. Yeah, but like for example, for Inception, what song was it? It's an Edith Piaf song, but they did different renditions of it. But with this, versus this, they just play the track. Like the original track, as like, oh, this is a good moment, and it's a great way of training. Is like, oh, it's a great good moment happening right now. When you hear this, they're about to like lock eyes or something. Yeah, oh my god! And speaking of locking eyes, the amount of cuts and the length of. I think I told us while we were watching, like how many cuts in between. For them standing and just staring at each other. I was like, how long is this scene gonna be? It's almost like a Mexican standoff, but it's just like freaking it's romance. It's just all romance. It's just like staring at each other lovingly for like but it works somehow. Yeah, it does work.
I don't know, man. It worked somehow. Like I don't know. Like probably any other show I've watched, I would have gotten so impatient. It's like, stop, just kiss. Hold hands, hug, something, break up. I don't know. Like, if this one is just like, is it because I got swept up in the emotion? Probably. Yeah. I don't know. An employee dating the CEO. Oh, God. Unheard of.
What are your thoughts of the characters?
I think they were fairly well like written, and I know it was based off a webtoon, so there's a lot of like character traits that are a little too rigid or a little too hokey or something, like and it's because that's how they were written in the webtoon. Like it's a comic book basically, so like they're not based off real people. There's certain ways that they would react to certain situations that like in real life a real life person would have reacted very differently. But because of how their characters are written, they react like the way they react to it is like completely different. It's like you can kind of see why they would react like that, but at the same time, it's just like, really, bro? And it's not a bad thing. It's just I like that their characters are like the characters are all well written. Yeah. Like even like little side characters and all that, like they are, even the ones that were literally just written for levity. Still fucking like hilarious. Like I want to know what's going on with them. Like I want to know like, ooh, what did they do on their date?
I thought the different characters were well defined. Like the main boss guy, and then it was very tough and rigid, and then there's assistant, very kind and patient, but also very straightforward. And the main character, she's friendly and bubbly, and then
empathetic, helpful.
And the other one was kind of, I'd say, also equally bubbly, but also a spoiled rich kid. Yeah. So I think I thought
she's a spoiled rich kid that, you know, that's down to like that's down to quote unquote slum it down or whatever, but like just for her friend.
Yeah, like all the
she's the relatable one.
Yeah, all the characters are pretty distinct. You can tell who's who. And it was nice seeing like the change and the vulnerability. I guess we're going into like some spoilers parts, like where you see, especially throughout the season, the rigidity of the CEO character going, and then him becoming more vulnerable.
Yeah,
which was not, and then but it's also nice how he tried to use his rigidity as a ruse so he can get access to seeing the girl.
Yeah.
So which is clever. I was like, wow, you're really abusing your power right now just so you can see this
just
chick.
a little bit. It's like, we have a meeting. Okay, where's the meeting? At a restaurant.
At a restaurant.
But then again, he can still use the restaurant as an excuse because she's, you know, their work has to do with food.
Yeah, and it's for research.
Yeah. I'm just like, ugh. How would you should can't even use that on me. It's like, we have a meeting. Where? At a movie. We're gonna look at the cinematography.
So anyways, okay, your overall rating of the show.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Because I don't give 10s. I don't give 10s. What about you?
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So because I did feel like some parts were a little corny for even for me.
I'm used to it.
But it was still pretty good and enjoyable. It wasn't exactly like mind-blowing, life-changing writing or cinematography, but it was still enjoyable enough. So and I don't allow myself to score 7 out of 10 because that's usually a cop-out score. So it has to be either 8 or 6, and it's definitely not a 6.
Okay, so it's an 8 for you.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, the corny parts for me kind of worked just because I had to keep in mind that this was based off of a webtoon. Like, this was not, you know, I don't know, but also it's a show. Like, and I've also consumed a lot of like Korean media besides K-pop. So like, the corniness is just kind of like there. It just kind of exists, I guess, for them. That's just kind of, it is what it is for them. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take away from the show. It still did its job. For me, it's just like,
would have written it a little different, executed a little different.
I don't know. I honestly don't know how, because I feel like the way they executed it was great. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't have. I definitely don't know what I would have done in terms of like adding motion graphics. I wouldn't have thought of that. I would have just, because like, then again, I would need to see the source material of actually reading the comics, using that for inspiration. But I don't know if I would need to actually plan everything out. But it's definitely, I think the tone for everything was perfect. Everything was good. But like in terms of me and my own subjective taste, it's an 8 out of 10. There's a few things that will hit 10 out of 10, and Everything Everywhere All at Once is definitely a 10 out of 10. Unique, brilliant story, great cast, great character. Just because it's an idea, and execution, and the idea and everything was just because it was just so different. I mean, it's from the norm.
It's also a Korean TV show versus a Hollywood.
That's true. Well, that's an indie
2 different
film,
budgets. Yeah, but it's still 2 different budgets.
That's true.
If they were able to afford Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do all the things. Follow Max on social media if you want to. If she allows you to.
If I allow you to.
Yeah, and
my Instagram is you're always welcome to my Instagram.
Yeah, follow the Instagrams. But thank you everyone on Instagram and on Twitch for watching. For Fuel Caution, and everyone on Instagram, Leo, Julian, Christy, Jean,
Mel was on there a little bit. On
Yeah,
Instagram.
Mel for a little bit. So thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Awkward Tea Party. Take care. Bye.
Q Noelle.
Beep, boop, 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 boop.